Everyone thinks retiring in Texas means sprawling ranches, endless heat, and big cities like Dallas or Houston. But what if I told you there are small Texas towns where you can retire for the price of a pickup truck and live like you're in a postcard? These hidden gems have lakes, wineries, and historic squares that feel more like Europe than the Wild West. You're not supposed to know about them because once the secret gets out, prices won't stay low for long. And trust me, you won't believe number 3. Granbury looks like the kind of place Hallmark movies are filmed in. Except this isn't make-believe. It's real Texas charm that most retirees outside the state have never even heard of. Just 35 miles southwest of Fort Worth, Granbury sits around a sparkling lake where you'll actually see folks fishing, kayaking, or just sipping iced tea on their porches, as if time decided to slow down here. The historic downtown square feels like a time capsule, with Victorian buildings that now house coffee shops, antique stores, and one of the best small-town theaters in the state. And here's the kicker. The median home price in Granbury hovers around $330,000, which is far cheaper than anything near the Dallas metro, where the same money might get you a cramped condo. Retirees love that they get big city perks nearby, but without the traffic jams and skyrocketing property taxes. Crime rates are lower than the Texas average, and the town has become a hotspot for retirees who want small-town comfort but don't want to feel isolated. But of course, no town is perfect. Summers can feel like you're being roasted in an oven, and while Granbury has charm, it doesn't exactly have Uber drivers lined up at midnight. If you're the type who wants a nightlife scene or 5-star restaurants on every corner, you'll find yourself disappointed. Still, the trade-off is clear: peace, safety, community, and an affordable lakeside lifestyle that you'd never guess was hiding just an hour outside Dallas. And if you think Granbury sounds surprising, wait until you see town number 2, where the wine flows almost as freely as the sun sets. Fredericksburg is the kind of place that makes you wonder if you accidentally stumbled into a German village while still in the heart of Texas Hill Country. Founded by German settlers in the 1800s, this town blends old-world charm with a surprisingly modern retirement lifestyle. Walk down Main Street and you'll see pastel storefronts, beer gardens serving bratwurst and pretzels, and boutique shops that feel like they belong in Europe. Retirees here often spend weekends hopping between over 50 local wineries. Yes, you heard that right. Texas wine country is real, and Fredericksburg is its crown jewel. For many, the real attraction is that you can live this lifestyle for a fraction of what Napa Valley would cost. The median home price sits around $420,000, not dirt cheap by Texas standards, but still far more affordable than California's wine regions, where that figure wouldn't even buy you a garage. Healthcare access is solid, crime is low, and the scenery is nothing short of breathtaking. Rolling hills, peach orchards, and sunsets that seem to stretch for miles. Of course, the town does have quirks. On weekends, Fredericksburg swells with tourists looking for wine tastings and Instagram moments, so retirees sometimes joke that they hide indoors until Monday rolls around. And if you're looking for a fast-paced lifestyle, you'll be disappointed. Shops close early, and nightlife basically means live music at a winery or a late dinner at a German cafe. But for those who dream of sipping wine on their porch while the cicadas sing in the background, Fredericksburg feels like a retirement fantasy come true. And if you think retiring in a German-inspired Texas town is strange, just wait until town number 3, where life feels more like living on a movie set. Jefferson feels less like a retirement town and more like stepping straight into a time machine. Known as the B&B capital of Texas, this little gem is filled with Victorian mansions, cobblestone streets, and horse-drawn carriage rides that make you wonder if you accidentally walked onto the set of an old Southern movie. Retirees who move here often say the charm is what sold them. Front porches with rocking chairs, antique shops on every corner, and the kind of neighborly friendliness you thought only existed in Hallmark movies. And here's the kicker. Jefferson isn't just beautiful, it's affordable. Median home prices hover around $170,000, which is cheaper than the average condo in Dallas and almost laughable compared to Austin. That means you can actually own a historic home without selling off your retirement fund. But Jefferson isn't just a postcard, it has quirks. The town is said to be one of the most haunted in Texas, with ghost tours running nearly every night. Some retirees find this spooky charm exciting, while others would rather not share their retirement with a Victorian-era poltergeist. The pace of life is slow, which can be either a blessing or a frustration, depending on your personality. You won't find big box convenience here, but you will find peace, quiet, and the sense that you're part of a living piece of history. Imagine sipping sweet tea on a wraparound porch while the church bells echo down the street. That's Jefferson in a nutshell. And if you think living in a haunted Victorian town is unusual, wait until number 4, where the retirement vibe comes with a twist of desert magic. Marfa isn't just a town, it's an experience. Hidden out in the remote desert of West Texas, Marfa has become this surreal blend of cowboy grit and high art mystery. On one side, you've got old ranch houses, dusty streets, and wide open skies that look like they were painted. On the other, you've got world-class art installations, quirky galleries, and the legendary Prada Marfa. Yes, a fake Prada store standing in the middle of nowhere, like a cosmic joke. For retirees, this means you can live in a peaceful desert oasis where mornings are slow, nights are filled with stargazing, and the cost of living is surprisingly manageable. Median home prices float around $200,000, which is far below the Texas big city average, and the low property taxes make it even sweeter for those stretching their retirement savings. But the real hook? The Marfa lights. Nobody can explain them. Mysterious glowing orbs that dance on the horizon, baffling scientists for decades. Some say it's car headlights. Others swear it's something paranormal. Either way, it makes evenings in Marfa feel magical, like the desert itself has secrets it only reveals at night. Retirees here often talk about the tranquility. The air is crisp, traffic is non-existent, and neighbors are more likely to invite you to a community cookout than a noisy block party. The trade-off? You're hours away from major hospitals, grocery chains, or airports. Marfa is remote, and you either embrace that lifestyle or you'll find yourself restless. But if you're seeking peace, beauty, and just a little bit of mystery in your golden years, Marfa is unlike anywhere else. And if you think glowing lights in the desert are strange, wait until you see number 5, a town where retirement comes with a lakeside view that feels almost too good to be true. Marble Falls is the kind of town that feels like it was designed for slowing down, yet still keeping life interesting. Nestled in the Texas Hill Country, this spot gives retirees the perfect mix of small-town charm and natural beauty. Imagine waking up to rolling green hills, wildflower-covered roads in the spring, and a sparkling lake right in your backyard. Lake Marble Falls and nearby Lake LBJ make it a dream location for fishing, kayaking, or simply sitting with a glass of iced tea while watching the sun bounce off the water. For retirees who want the perks of peaceful living but still crave some activity, Marble Falls delivers. You've got art festivals, farmers markets, and a surprisingly lively dining scene for such a small town. On the practical side, housing here is much more affordable than big Texas cities, with median home prices hovering around $300,000, still reasonable for a lakeside community. Property taxes are also lower compared to urban centers, which makes stretching retirement income easier. Healthcare access is solid too, with local clinics and a regional hospital nearby, which gives retirees a sense of security without needing to drive hours for care. And let's not forget the food. This is Texas Hill Country, so barbecue and comfort food reign supreme. But you'll also find some refined spots that cater to the weekend crowd from Austin. Of course, the trade-off is that Marble Falls isn't bustling with endless entertainment or shopping malls. You won't find giant amusement parks or pro sports teams, but maybe that's the point. Life here slows down. Neighbors know each other, and the days roll by with a calm rhythm that makes retirement feel like, well, retirement. And if you think a lakeside escape sounds good, just wait until you see number 6, a hidden German-inspired town that feels like Europe dropped right into the middle of Texas. Fredericksburg is where retirement starts to feel more like a long vacation than a final chapter. Tucked away in the Texas Hill Country, this little town looks like it was plucked straight out of Europe. Founded by German settlers in the 1800s, Fredericksburg has held on tightly to its old-world charm, giving retirees the surreal feeling of living in a Texas town with Bavarian-style architecture, German bakeries, and even festivals that feel like Oktoberfest. Imagine strolling down Main Street past pastel-colored storefronts with the smell of fresh strudel in the air, and then turning a corner to find a wine-tasting room pouring local vintages from the dozens of wineries that dot the surrounding countryside. It's small-town Texas, but with a twist of European flair that makes every day feel special. From a practical retirement perspective, Fredericksburg is both charming and smart. Housing here is a bit pricier than some of the other hidden towns, but still affordable compared to Austin or Dallas, with many cozy cottages and ranch-style homes hovering around $350,000 to $400,000. Healthcare is covered too, with Hill Country Memorial Hospital and several clinics in town, plus quick access to larger facilities in San Antonio if needed. The town also has a huge appeal for retirees who don't want to sit still. There are art galleries, historical museums, and plenty of community events that make it easy to stay social. And if you love food, you'll never get bored. Schnitzel, bratwurst, and locally grown peaches are just the start. The trade-off? Fredericksburg is no secret to tourists. On weekends, Main Street can feel crowded as day trippers pour in from nearby cities, so retirees looking for solitude might find it overwhelming at times. But for many, that's part of the charm. It keeps the town lively, the shops thriving, and the culture vibrant. And if you think a German-inspired Texas town is unique, wait until you see number 7, where retirees can live right on the water without breaking the bank. If your idea of retirement involves waking up to the sound of waves, watching herons skim across the water, and spending afternoons fishing off the pier, then Rockport, Texas might just be your dream destination. This small coastal town on the Gulf of Mexico blends relaxation with affordability in a way that feels almost too good to be true. Unlike flashy tourist spots like Galveston or South Padre, Rockport has held on to its laid-back, unpolished charm. Picture pastel-colored beach houses, quiet marinas filled with fishing boats, and local seafood joints serving up shrimp so fresh, it practically jumps off the plate. For retirees, it's the kind of place where every day feels like a low-key vacation, except you're not draining your savings to live there. Financially, Rockport is a hidden gem for retirees who want the coastal life without California prices. The median home value sits around $260,000, which is a fraction of what you'd pay for ocean views elsewhere in the U.S. Property taxes are lower than in many parts of the state, and Texas's lack of state income tax only sweetens the deal. The cost of living is about 10% below the national average, making it a practical choice for retirees living on fixed incomes. Add in reliable healthcare options in nearby Corpus Christi, and you've got a town that balances beauty with peace of mind. Of course, coastal living has its trade-offs. Rockport was hit hard by Hurricane Harvey in 2017, and while the town has bounced back impressively, storms remain a risk. Some retirees love the resilience and community spirit that comes with coastal living, while others might see the occasional evacuation as too much stress. Still, for many, the call of the water is worth it. And here's the kicker. Rockport isn't just affordable, it's also one of the best birdwatching spots in America, drawing retirees who trade in golf clubs for binoculars. But if you think a quiet seaside escape is tempting, wait until you see number 8. A town where retirees enjoy small-town charm wrapped in cowboy history. If you've ever dreamed of retiring somewhere that feels like stepping straight into a Western movie, Bandera, Texas, is your stage. Known proudly as the cowboy capital of the world, this little hill country town offers retirees something unique. Not just peace and quiet, but an entire lifestyle built around cowboy culture. Imagine mornings spent horseback riding through rolling hills, afternoons sipping sweet tea at a saloon-style cafe, and evenings filled with live country music echoing down Main Street. It's not polished or pretentious. Bandera has an authenticity that's hard to fake. For retirees, it's like trading traffic and noise for wide-open skies and a community where neighbors actually know your name. When it comes to affordability, Bandera holds its own. The median home price hovers around $280,000, which is surprisingly accessible given the town's popularity as a quirky retirement destination. The overall cost of living lands about 15% below the national average, and just like the rest of Texas, there's no state income tax to eat into retirement savings. That means your money stretches further, leaving more room for hobbies, travel, or the occasional cowboy hat collection. Healthcare needs are met by nearby San Antonio, just under an hour's drive away, giving retirees the balance of rural charm with urban convenience close at hand. But like any town with character, Bandera has its quirks. If you love fast-paced city life, you might find it a little too quiet. Grocery shopping options are limited, and let's be honest, if you need a Starbucks on every corner, this isn't your town. Instead, Bandera rewards you with rodeos, dance halls, and trails that seem to go on forever. For many retirees, that trade-off is priceless. Still, while Bandera may be known for its cowboy roots, the next town on our list offers something completely different. A hidden lakeside paradise where retirees trade horses for fishing boats. Marble Falls might just be one of the most underrated gems in the Texas Hill Country, especially for retirees who want nature, affordability, and charm wrapped up in one lakeside package. Picture this. Your mornings start with coffee overlooking Lake Marble Falls, the mist rising gently off the water, while evenings end with a slow walk down Main Street, where boutiques, bakeries, and art galleries keep the small town vibe alive. Unlike some retirement towns that feel sleepy, Marble Falls has just enough energy to keep things interesting without overwhelming you. Retirees love it because it offers the best of both worlds: calm, natural beauty, with just enough activity to stay engaged. On the numbers side, Marble Falls is surprisingly affordable considering its prime location. The median home price sits around $320,000, which is far less than Austin, just about an hour's drive away, but you still get access to the same rolling hills, scenic drives, and vibrant food scene. The cost of living is slightly below the national average. And again, Texas's lack of state income tax gives retirees an edge. Healthcare options are solid too, with Baylor Scott and White Medical Center right in town, and larger hospitals available in nearby Austin. That means you don't have to compromise peace of mind for peace and quiet. Of course, Marble Falls isn't perfect. If you're someone who craves nightlife, you won't find it here. The town's idea of after dark is more about wine tastings and lakeside dinners than clubs or parties. Summers can also get scorching, though the lake offers a natural escape when the heat hits triple digits. Still, many retirees say that's a small price to pay for the freedom to kayak, fish, or stroll through bluebonnet fields without ever battling city traffic. And just when you think Marble Falls is as good as it gets, wait until you see our final town, a quiet Texan retreat so hidden, even most lifelong Texans don't know it exists. If you've ever dreamed of retiring in a place that feels like stepping back in time, Jefferson, Texas is that hidden treasure. Tucked away in the piney woods of East Texas, Jefferson has been called the bed and breakfast capital of Texas, and for good reason. The town is filled with historic Victorian homes, cobblestone streets, and horse-drawn carriage rides that make you feel like you've slipped into another century. Retirees who move here often say it's like living inside a storybook, where the pace is slow, the air smells like pine, and everyone still waves when they pass by. It's the kind of small-town magic that's becoming harder and harder to find in America. What's even more surprising is how affordable Jefferson is. The median home price sits comfortably under $200,000, making it one of the most budget-friendly retirement towns on this list. You can own a charming historic cottage here for less than the price of a studio apartment in Dallas. The cost of living is well below the national average, which means your retirement savings stretch further, giving you more freedom to enjoy life instead of worrying about bills. Healthcare options are limited in town, but larger facilities are within driving distance in Marshall and Shreveport, so you still have access when needed. Of course, Jefferson isn't without its quirks. Because it's small, just around 2,000 residents, you won't find big box shopping or endless restaurant options, but what you will find is peace, community, and a rhythm of life that encourages slowing down and appreciating the little things. Whether it's antique shopping downtown, taking a riverboat tour on Big Cypress Bayou, or joining in on the annual Candlelight Christmas Parade, Jefferson offers retirees a life filled with charm and connection. And here's the thing, if you thought this list was surprising, just wait until you see the towns we've uncovered in our next video, where some places are so cheap and beautiful, it almost feels like they're keeping it a secret. Jefferson, Texas is the kind of place that feels frozen in time. With cobblestone streets, Victorian homes, and horse-drawn carriages, it's like retiring inside a storybook. The best part? Homes here often sell for under $200,000, less than a Dallas studio apartment. It's small with only about 2,000 residents, so you won't find endless shopping or restaurants. But you will find peace, charm, and a community that still waves when you pass by. From antique shops to candlelight parades, Jefferson offers a slower, sweeter kind of retirement. So tell me, what's one small town experience you'd love to have in retirement? Share your dream in the comments below.